Hello, everybody out there. This is Hayforks Podcast, Black Sheep and Bad Apples. Thank you guys for listening. We're happy you guys are sheltering in place, and if you're enjoying this, you can go ahead and leave us a comment or a like. What we're going to go ahead and do is just start this dangin' podcast. What you're hearing is the affordable and smooth sound of a Rolling Rock Extra Pale beer.
From the glass-lined vats of Old Latrobe.
Old Latrobe. As you know, I'm Lauren O'Brien. You may not know that, but you do know now. And this is Black Sheep and Bad Apples. Tonight's gonna be a little interesting. We got my buddy across the table.
Howdy, howdy. Joe here, ready to talk about some fun things.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little weird, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it's gonna go in very strange directions. We got my boy here.
What up, Sam?
Sam,
Get your shit. Got your shit.
how you doing? What
Oh, God, I'm kicking stuff. Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
stop. Don't kick your mic. How you feeling tonight? You excited for this?
I'm all napped up and ready to go.
Yeah, hell yeah. You got some caffeine in you?
Took a nice nap today,
Yeah.
too.
Excellent.
Yeah, like
excellent.
weird.
Everybody's napped up. And our producer here at Fourth Corner Studios
Oh, yeah.
hosting us during this very, very sexy shelter-in-place time. I don't know why I said that.
yeah,
It's neither sexy or... Yeah,
It's not really a turn on, I guess, unless you're into the Skype thing and you you have a partner that you have fun with that type of stuff or
Yeah.
something. You're like, I can't see you, so let's just, you know,
like if you're in a camp.
Skype date all the time. But you know,
Or you just got that ASMR thing and you just like those tones.
it's,
hoping that you guys would just listen to our podcast.
That's why I open every episode with the cracking of a beer, because what's more ASMR than the sound of a beer opening? Fresh and cold.
Feather on rough paper. I'm trying to think
I
of
don't
a
know what that
softer
would sound
noise.
like. Yeah.
So tonight's episode is we're going to do things a little differently. I realized that I kind of got in too deep doing some of my research, and as such, I wanted to provide a good report and didn't want to rush it. So we're going to do a little bit of this thing we used to do, like this improv thing. Tonight,
A relax fit episode.
a relax fit. That's
Yeah.
a great way to phrase it. Tonight we're going to be reading to you guys a few different, like, conspiracy theory manifestos written by just a series of fucking people. We're going to be doing 3 different parts on 3 different conspiracy, or not conspiracy theories, but manifestos. And it's I'm very interested in doing this. So we're just going to kind of read this live again, just improving this. And we're going to start right now with the idea that I brought to the table, because Mr. Daisy brought one as well. And we've got a third one we're going to get to. I'm going to bring you guys the Flat Earth Conspiracy Manifesto.
I am looking at the cover of it right now, and this guy put some effort into this.
Yeah, like it looks like a painting that you would get, like, it actually reminds me of a painting that I've seen in one of our mutual friends' bathrooms when I was very high on hallucinogenic drugs. It's very long. It's 258 pages.
And we're going to read every word right now.
We're honestly just going to skim over most of it, Mr. Dacey. But what I do want to do is go ahead and open up with, let's see if I can get to it. Oh, shit.
I like how there's memes in it, too. Like
There's memes in it?
Yeah, there's like a caveman drawing of like the monkey and then the caveman like going to the human. And then it just says, "Hey, I'm being followed by monkeys."
Okay. What page is that?
That's 9.
Oh, okay.
And there's also a monkey holding a Bible on that page.
Yeah,
Just
so
to show you what we're getting into.
yeah. So Daisy, could you pull up page 1 and just describe to me that first image that you see?
Oh, I believe that it's a ship about to fall
No,
off
the page 1 of the actual text of the book. Yeah. Just describe what that image is at the very top right. Do you see it? Oh, okay.
No, I don't have
Well,
that.
never mind. Yeah, apparently having it on a computer is a little bit different.
Oh, that's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
It's a wolf in sheep's clothing, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
the metaphors
Yeah,
are right in your face.
So I just want you guys to know that this part of this chapter is entitled "The Globe Earth Lie,"
Ah, yes.
and we're going to read a little bit of it. Wolves in sheep's clothing have pulled the wool over our eyes. For almost 500 years, the masses have been thoroughly deceived by a cosmic fairy tale of astronomical proportions.
I'm just going to go right ahead right now and apologize in advance for all the outbursts of just fucking laughter that are going to occur from me for the rest of this episode.
Oh, yeah, and-
just right now, because it's going to be loud.
And that's literally the first sentence. We've been taught a falsehood so gigantic and diabolical that it has blinded us from our own experience and common sense, from seeing the world and the universe as they truly are. Through pseudoscience books and programs, mass media, public education, universities, and government propaganda, the world has been systematically brainwashed, slowly indoctrined over centuries, into the unquestioning belief of the greatest lie of all time.
Nikes are better than Adidas.
So that's the first chapter. Nikes might be better than Adidas.
That
They're
is
definitely more
exactly-
expensive.
That's exactly how serious I feel about these people.
Yeah, and so that was the first paragraph of the first page, and like not wanting to just like read the introduction and being like a kind of a biased observer, I'm gonna like kind of dive deep into the
Abyss.
into it. So we're gonna skip from
How
from,
deep can you dive into a puddle, really?
I mean, it's flat, so
well,
like,
right.
you can't go anywhere.
We're gonna skip from page 1 to page 15.
15.
And I don't know this person's name nor how to say it, but I'm gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and push through it a little bit. When Tycho
Tycho-
Brahe demonstrated that
I don't know. It
that
kind
after
of looked just like bra to me.
Right.
Bra?
when
Tycho
Tycho Brahe demonstrated that after 190 million miles of supposed orbit around the sun, not a single inch of parallax could be detected.
Yeah, you can't see that parallax.
Desperate heliocentrists, instead of conceding, doubled down, claiming the stars were all actually trillions upon trillions of miles away from us, so distant that no appreciable parallax could ever be detected. We're gonna have to figure out what parallax is. Could you dive into that a little bit?
Parallax.
This convenient explanation, which heliocentrists have clung to for centuries, has proved satisfactory to silence the uninquisitive minds of the masses, but still fails to adequately address many observable phenomena, such as our widely implausible synchronization with Polaris, which I assume is the star in the star, the constellation, synchronization with Polaris and other improbabilities, which we will address later.
Parallax is the effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from different positions.
So, like, what they're saying is that because when I'm on one point of like the planet and I go to another point, I don't see enough of a change. Therefore, it's a lie. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just like it's so. How do you get to there?
Sam, I
You're
need
like,
you to
wait.
understand something. The reason that you can see Orion's belt from basically every point on the planet is because the planet is flat, and not because it's so far away and
But
it's
I
such an
don't-
equilateral angle that it's pretty
Then
like.
why
it's,
does the southern hemisphere have different stars in it?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't understand
no,
what
they
you're talking
don't
about.
exist.
Yeah, those don't. Australia doesn't exist. Have you heard? Because that's another thing we should bring
Wait,
up is
what?
that some of
Yeah.
these flat earthers don't think Australia exists either. They think that it's like an upside down land or that it was made like.
Like I lived in Australia for a
Upside down
while.
land.
I think what they think happens
Everybody
is
walks on their hands and talks out their ass.
I flew out there, they kidnapped me, put me on a VR suit, and just made me relive a simulation of Australia.
Yeah, they put you in a very hot room. It was like basically a sauna, but without the moisture.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Buddy heater next to me, and they're just sitting there like taking a fan and waving the hot air on me.
Goddamn government, the fucking deep state.
It's clearly the globalists.
It's very, very much the globalists.
No, it's Crocodile Dundee.
He's not real. That's just
Yes,
that's
he
just
is.
misinformation.
Paul Hogan?
Oh man, I wish.
He's an actor.
No, he's
Same
Crocodile
as Neil
Dundee.
Armstrong.
No.
Oh yeah, honestly,
Ooh, do we talk about Buzz in this? Because like,
if you guys can look this up, like on your like, you know what? I'm just gonna type. I'm gonna go into my search bar and we're gonna type in Neil. Just Neil. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go.
astronauts are just straight up fucking liars.
I mean, for the record, it's called the Flat Earth Conspiracy, the title of this, and so it's probably got a very good light to shine on Neil.
If we get our
Armstrong.
first cease and desist and it's from NASA, I'm going to be proud of us.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of NASA astronauts Neil Armstrong, Alan Shepard, William Pogue, Vance Brand, and Anthony England all had fathers who were Freemasons too.
You know what
yes.
NASA means? Never a straight answer.
The amount of astronauts known to be Freemasons or from Freemasonic families is astonishing. It's likely that more astronauts and people of key importance in NASA are affiliated with the Brotherhood as well, but not so open about their membership.
All I can think of is the episode of The Simpsons where they're like, they join the Freemasons or whatever it is, and it's like they sing this song. It's like, who keeps the aliens under wraps? We do. Like,
For there to be this many Masons, members of the world's largest and oldest secret society, involved in the promotion and propaganda of this globalist heliocentric doctrine from its outsets today, should raise some serious suspicion. Yeah, so we're definitely getting to the globalists. I wonder, I'm going to type in Alex Jones. I just want to see if... I mean, they do
long
have
as I
a
can
very
pay for the-
convincing argument.
They make some pretty cool clocks. I don't know if you've seen them. They're real flat. And they just they go in a circle. And I don't know how to... They're pretty neat. It's a true story.
I like how a lot
They
of them
look
are
like-
NBA players. Like,
Oh, guys,
there's a lot of NBA players.
I'm real
with
tall. I
fat
can't see no curvature.
earth. It's
guys-
not like a basketball. It's like the court.
So I think the next page I haven't read it all, but I think we get into some Christian identity kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Yeah, we're quoting.
This land is my land, and get
Yeah.
the fuck out.
Quote, NASA's logo is a giant red forked serpent's tongue overlaying the starry heavens. Serpents, and specifically their forked tongues, have long been associated with lying, deceit, cleverness, two-facedness, manipulation,
Oh,
and
we're
with
getting to something
Satan,
else.
the devil. Why else would the National Aeronautics and Space Administration choose this as their official logo? And I'm just going to keep rolling through this because it gets better. The United Nations, the New World Order government headquarters, built on land donated by 33-degree Freemason John D. Rockefeller, is represented by a logo flag which clearly depicts the flat Earth divided into 33 sections.
And the Zionist cabal coming down
Oh,
and taking
man,
it all from the inside.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and here, right below that, right below that, there's a picture of Neil deGrasse Tyson, Barack Obama, and Bill Nye. Oh, and underneath
Well,
that
if
is
Bill Nye-
Those
in
are
there.
clearly
they're-
archdemons of hell.
Well, and then just under that photo, which I missed, is Sam. Do you want to describe that for me, please?
Oh, he's okay. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson wearing one of his. He always wears like these really fun vests, right? Like this is like a thing he
Sweet
does.
bow ties.
So it says like the vest. He's got a vest that's got suns on it. It is a symbol of my power and priesthoods. Right. Right.
Because the Freemason thing.
Right.
The Freemason.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a Freemason because he's wearing a vest with a sun on it.
But
I mean,
we
I'm sure there's
know
other reasons.
that NASA was set up by Nazis. Like that.
It's
That is like fact.
unimpeachable.
Like Operation
actually don't know
Paperclip.
enough
That's a
to-
thing.
Oh
but
yeah,
then-
we definitely learned rockets from the Nazis.
Yeah.
we were
So
like,
then
hell yeah.
we're just like kind of switching the conspiracy. Like if you can't say their enemy is also in control of the of NASA. They're not both there.
No, according to this, I think with a little
Is it
bit more
Nazis or
research.
Freemasons? You figure it out.
Yeah, come on,
They're both way into the occult.
and yet, yeah, okay, so
I
I
know we
don't.
got Egyptian shit scrolling by.
Yeah, I
like-
don't even know where to keep going from this. Like, do you guys want to pick a page number between 148 and 253, and I'll just start reading?
I mean, sure. Why not? What do we? I
Oh,
kind
no,
of
all
got
right,
lost on the
53
objective
last
goal of our
paragraph.
podcast.
The
at this
objective
point.
goal tonight is just to literally read through manifestos.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
we're
sweet.
just reading through this because
so if you're
I
joining
haven't
us
read
right
this.
now, we're reading through some manifestos.
Yeah,
and
and
this one is the Flat Earth Manifesto.
the Flat
Okay,
Earth
I'm on
Conspiracy
board.
Manifesto.
Oh,
because apparently
whatever.
Globe Earth
So
is
he
the
doesn't even
conspiracy.
believe it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, that's just bad titling. Like, you mean Globe Earth Conspiracy?
Well, this whole
Right.
thing screams self-publication. Like
Oh, and
everything
it-
that I'm going through, like he buys like reams of paper and then just prints it out in his basement and hands it out at like
Dude.
public
I would be interested to
events.
see what
One of
his
their
Twitter account looks like.
websites- didn't one of their websites say like Flat Earth Society has members all across the globe or something?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was a Facebook group of theirs.
Read that slowly.
All right, so I'm gonna pick the random page 200.
Oh, you're going deep in there.
Oh, and first and foremost,
Deep dives into a shallow puddle.
yeah. First and foremost, there's a photo of a gorilla. Could be, yeah, I think it's a gorilla. And then there's a
I
statue,
ain't
like
come
the
from no
thinking
monkeys.
man.
Yeah, the thinker. Yeah.
Yeah, the thinker, and they're right next to each other.
Stinker.
And so we're all on the same page. I haven't read this, so we're gonna read it together right now. All the many models, drawings, cartoons, mannequins, and movies made involving various ape men are complete fiction and fabrication because no one can accurately determine the outward appearance of an animal based solely on bone structure. Soft tissue, which vanishes quickly after death and is responsible for the look of one's eyes, ears, nose, lips, hair, eyebrows, skin, etc., totally depends upon the imagination of the person reconstructing them. I'm actually a little bit with them in this regard. Like,
Well,
it takes
this
a
just
little-
sounds like a
it's-
couple roads away from saying that dinosaurs had wings and were dragons.
I'm
Yeah.
certain we'll get to that.
You careful there.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna just keep reading a little bit.
Goddamn
Ernest
chicken
A.
lizards.
Houghton of Harvard University stated, quote, and this is quoting the quote, "To attempt to restore the soft parts is an even more hazardous undertaking. The lips, the eyes, the ears, the nasal tip leave no clues on the underlying bony parts." Okay? And this is in boldface. "You can with equal facility model on a Neanderthalian skull the features of a chimpanzee or the lineaments of a philosopher?" Okay, so they're saying that there's no difference
jump.
between a Neanderthalian skull and a human skull. These alleged restorations.
That's not true.
No,
I mean, like
it's very
the
true. I
skull
read
of
it-
a Neanderthal and
I
the
read
skull
it
of
in
a
here.
like Joe's skull and a Neanderthal skull do not look the same.
But I read it in this manifesto.
Okay, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah, so, I mean,
sorry,
who am I supposed to believe?
You're
You or this
getting wrapped
manifesto?
up in
Yeah.
the propaganda of it all.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
arguing with a brick wall.
The current evolutionist ape to human transitional theory goes Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, and that's the end. Australopithecus, which means southern ape, has been proven to be nothing but an extinct ape which closely resembles many modern chimpanzees in height, arm and leg length, skull shape, teeth, mandibular structure, and many other details.
So at this point, is it arguing evolution?
Yeah,
sounds
we
like
went
it's
from flat Earth to
Now
literally
we're
just
arguing
evolution.
against evolution. Like,
Yeah. You know, I'm going to skip 20 pages and
let's get right to the ancient aliens.
All right, so let's
Oh, 217.
217?
Yeah.
You got it, boss.
Go to like the last paragraph of 217.
217. All right, here we go. Are you talking about giants?
Yeah,
Okay.
giants, man.
So, do you want me to quote the photo?
Well, the last paragraph, if you get into it, is pretty interesting.
Okay. So the one next to the photo of the guy with the hat on. Anyway,
Yeah, my
I'm
numbers
just going to go for it.
yours because I'm on a phone.
And I'm quoting this. They're using air quotes as well. Giants keep on cropping up in all parts of the globe, in the mythology of the East and West, in the sagas of, I'm gonna butcher this name, Tihuanacow, and the epics of the Eskimos. their air quotes again, giants haunt the pages of almost all ancient books. So they must have existed. What sort of creatures were they? Were they our forefathers who built the gigantic buildings and effortlessly manhandled the monoliths? One thing is certain. The Bible speaks of... Okay, I didn't realize we were going to go into the Bible. The Bible speaks of, again, their quotes, giants, and describes them as, quoting them, sons of God. And those sons of God breed with the daughters of men and multiply. Oh, and this is Eric von Daniken from Chariots of the Gods.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
that makes sense.
There's there's a big theory out there that the giants that came down that were the alien, the big-headed grays, and that was the way that they were just like talked about over years was giants. Some David Icke stuff.
Yeah, which, you know, I thought about like getting on and just clowning on like Alex Jones tonight or David Icke, but I was like, they don't have any manifestos. There's nothing like concise and orderly that you can like just run through.
We should
like
leave him alone.
Yeah,
he's had a rough.
He's had a really rough life selling. You know, it's, at one point 6 times the legal amount of lead inside his health capsules. You know, it's really hard to sell those to people who you claim aren't getting enough zinc.
Yeah, remember when Trump got elected and he got really drunk and ripped off his shirt and ran around the Republican convention?
There's actually a bunch of, like, directly after that, there's just, like, a bunch of videos of him being fucking wasted as shit with his whiskey fucking drunk voice. And he's just, like, shirtless giving his Alex Jones speeches. It's really, really funny. Ooh, here we go. I stumbled upon this on 229. Would you like to take a read, Sam?
Sure, I'll do it. I'll take
right.
a little read. What?
This is the Flat Earth Bible.
Oh.
So the Bible.
Ooh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
And they
like
said
this.
unto thee, the Bible, a book said to be inspired and written by God. Fucking writing here is amazing.
He's terrible at fucking writing, this guy.
I gotta wrap it up real quick. Here we go. Claims that the Earth is flat, motionless, and intelligently designed.
Like
That
my wife in bed.
That giant human beings existed and that dinosaurs and ape men never existed. Several increasingly unpopular ideas, which I hope the book you are reading, The Flat Earth Conspiracy,
Hell yeah. Terrible title.
terrible title,
Terrible title.
has proven to be undeniably true.
I've got notes.
All right, never mind. Yeah.
In my previous book, The Atlantean Conspiracy, I also presented overwhelming evidence that there existed ancient, advanced, worldwide civilizations which were wiped out by a global flood. Another unpopular idea confirmed by the Bible.
And they're the true people who deserve Israel.
So, Sam, is he confirming or disputing the Bible? Because I'm actually a little bit confused by the way he's phrasing everything. Or maybe he's saying that like parts of the Bible are wrong.
Yeah, just his word choicing is terrible. It does like claims and you know what I mean? Like
I bet you he thinks that the PC police came in and censored up the Bible.
I bet you he didn't have a proofreader or an editor. Like nobody read through this before he published it.
He wrote this on a black screen with green type, and it was just nonstop for 3 days.
He's in his mom's basement.
Honestly,
Drinking Surge.
I don't think like he just says I way too much in this page.
You think it's too
Well, okay,
opinion
we
piece?
like one paragraph in, he said I twice, and then the next paragraph, I come from a huge family of devout Christians along whom, as a lifelong skeptic, I have always been the black sheep. Fuck you, buddy. How dare you?
That's a manifesto version of saying I've always been alone.
Right.
Well, and
to
for
this
the
day, I must admit that blah, 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 I, me. Fuck you, dude. Who cares?
Well, I mean,
Sorry.
there's actually like a list of definitions that is like what a manifesto is, and so it is supposed to be a little bit editorially it's supposed to be kind of an opinion piece.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But
also
shitty manifestos are like I believe. Better manifestos say we believe.
Yeah. Well,
and you know.
But
And
they're
also-
lying.
Where's the coffee cup?
They're
Change my
lying
mind.
because nobody who has a group of people behind them writes a manifesto.
and he's also saying which we're gonna get to in a little bit.
Wow. You're right. You're totally right.
Jesus Christ! So let's go. Let's.
It's
I
always
love manifestos.
It's
that
always
hasn't come
alone.
up.
Somebody who's alone, and then their manifesto gets picked up. And people are like, we also believe.
Yeah, no one wrote that happy. No one wrote a manifesto happy. It was sweating in a corner, like knowing nobody understands you, and like just
No,
like the
somebody-
Ted Kaczynski
somebody-
years
There's
later.
actually
people are like,
definitely people that have
No,
written manifesto.
no.
There's actually a manifesto. Like it's a manifesto
Whoa.
about how to write manifestos. I found that while looking
This
up.
rabbit hole
like,
gets deep.
yeah.
But there was one happy manifesto written once. It was in 2013 on the last day of Burning Man. It was
Cronker's Bad Fur.
written by somebody who'd eaten probably way too much, drugs. But it's been lost. We only know of it in as a it's a
Well, those
oral-
are interesting
It's an oral
ones.
tale
Yeah, like, no one wants to. Yeah,
from Burning
from
Man.
Burning Man.
The
Had
oral,
a good
the oral
time.
history
And
of
like,
Burning
I
Man.
danced a bunch.
Then we burned stuff.
Burning Man was canceled this year.
Don't
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
already.
Yeah, no, they just posted Burning Man's canceled 2020
Yeah.
due to the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, no Burning Man this year.
There are going to be so many sad people in San
Let's take a
Francisco.
moment of
Oh
silence.
yeah.
That's enough.
So I just wanted to see if we were going to go into a dark place with this manifesto. So I typed in bankers, 0 results.
Okay.
I typed in Zionist, 0 results. Pretty pleased about that.
Did you just try Jews?
I did.
I just tried Jew.
That's
Yeah,
how I
just
found
tried
the
Jew.
giant page.
Yeah.
You just
So
tried.
I'm going to read from the paragraph that this is from.
Oh, so Jew got some hits.
That got
Jew-
some hits.
Oh, shit.
And actually, very surprisingly, only one match. So we're going to read through it and see what's going on.
It's
in
a
this-
very
this-
I
narrow
mean, I'm not going to
result.
be disappointed to find out the
See,
guy
I
isn't
got
like
6
horribly
matches.
anti-Semitic.
I'm not going to be either.
I'll just be surprised that he's not. You
Well,
know what I mean?
there's definitely a word in here that's that you could just substitute out that because he didn't want all of that, like, oh, you hate
Yeah,
Jewish
well,
people thing.
He uses globalists a lot, and I
Yeah,
think
like-
we know the Alex Jones terminology. like-
globalist. Then there's also the whole like metaphor of like lizard people that like David Icke gets into, and like that's all the same shit. Like,
Oh yeah, so this gets into the Giants a little bit. The historian Josephus.
That's the paragraph that I was telling you about.
from 37 to 95 AD, who lived in Hebron, the home of the biblical giants. Hebron wrote that he had on multiple occasions dug up human bones of enormous size. He also wrote that the people of Judah facing the giants of Hebron, saying there were till then left a race of giants who had bodies so large and countenances so entirely different from other men that they were surprising to the sight, and terrible to the hearing.
And
The
then
bones of
2
these
rows of teeth.
yeah, the bones of these men are still shown to this very day, unlikely to any credible relation of other men. Josephus also wrote of Eleazar, a Jewish giant that stood over 10 feet tall, being one of the hostages the king of Persia sent to Rome to ensure peace. The Roman Emperor Aulus Vitellius, I don't know, also mentioned this writing that, quote, Darius, son of Artabanes, was sent as a hostage to Rome. He took with him, with diverse presents, a man 7 cubits high, a Jew named Eleazar, who was called a giant by reason of his greatness. So I think that he's gone from trying to tell us that the earth is flat to telling us that
Jews are giants.
So Jews are giants and dinosaurs never existed, is what I would also assume. Is
Well,
gonna go
there's
on.
But he's also using like something that was written 2,000 years ago, basically, and that's not like one story. It does not make a factual history.
No, and
There's also like a lot of history in giant humanoids to say that dinosaurs aren't real, and they repurposed the bones that they found of giants and made the dinosaurs. That is like a very popular one.
The idea of a T-Rex head being a human skull is just like, that cracks me
You
up.
just gotta like chisel it in certain places.
So one reason that you know that this is a credible manifesto is because they don't cite any of their sources. There's
Yeah.
zero sources for the whole thing.
You don't see any sources in the Bible.
No, like what? Like, and that's the most reliable book on the planet. I did, however, skip to the last
I'm gonna head
page, the second to the last page, rather, because the last page is oddly just a bunch of like really pretty pictures of like nature, and then like there's some like archaeological digs, and then like
Photoshopped.
yeah, and it's like scientific standards of like height of like I'm assuming different species as human beings. There's like some there's a photo of NASA in here with the serpent tongue, the Freemason triangle. So yeah, the last page is kind of bogus, and you know, sadly he doesn't cite his sources. Before we go to break though, I'm going to read this last paragraph. I've got no idea what it's about. We're going to go into it. The globe Earth lie, or what I have entitled the Flat Earth Conspiracy, is in my humble opinion the greatest deception in human history and most important taboo issue which desperately needs to be exposed. If people knew the extent to which they have been lied to and brainwashed from birth, there would be a veritable revolution in critical thinking, personal sovereignty, and belief in God by morning. The New World Order globalists, Satan's prophesized one world government Masonic minions are everywhere, spreading their scientific, in quotes, disinformation, quote, deceiving the very elect and herding the sheeple to their slaughter. Please help spread the word to your friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers. Direct them to, and then he's like, direct them to his book, and then like his website, and that's a bunch of bullshit. So So yeah, that is going to be all that we're going to cover right now for the Flat Earth Conspiracy. If you want to see more, I'll probably cite it on our webpage, but it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's really
Don't
fun to
spread
read, though.
disinformation.
Yeah, if you want to read it for the fun of it, please
Search
do.
it
But
out.
it's very fun.
Super easy to find.
But anyway,
This guy definitely wants you to read it.
we're going to head off to a break, and we will talk to you guys very shortly.
Be right back.
We'll be right back.
Fuck Hobo Johnson.
If you're enjoying this and would like to check out more, please visit Black Sheep and Bad Apples on YouTube, where you can find all these episodes and more. Thank you for tuning in to the live broadcast of Black Sheep and Bad Apples. This episode was brought to you in part by the following: the American Waterfowl Foundation, fighting for a better America. No Duck Left Behind, supporting injured ducks of war. Feathers of Flight, honoring our lost ducks. Fowl Groceries, a family flocked business, fighting for a better America. Fowl Pharmaceuticals, one pill to rule them all. I can't. This is getting ridiculous. And of course, by viewers and ducks like you. And now back to a little bit more of Black Sheep and Bad Apples.
All right, I think we're back at it. Can I get a thumbs up, Sean?
Like it.
All right, Studio Man says that we're doing it again. This is the live stream. Let's try that again. This is the live stream broadcast of Black Sheep and Bad Apples. This episode tonight is about manifestos. Before we get into our next little segment, I do want to note that the Flat Earth Manifesto was written by a guy named Eric Dubé. And I just so happened to pull up his Twitter account for shits and giggles. And he's still publicly posting constantly. April 1st, worldwide lockdown over the common cold.
Why wouldn't he? He found the secrets to life.
Yeah, apparently. March 25th,
It would be a crime if you
coronavirus and
didn't.
forced vaccination manipulation. Oh, morphinogenic resonance.
This is what your freedoms get
Oh,
you.
man. I'm going to have to explore this a little bit when we're not actively streaming this podcast. But So that's a really fun thing. If you guys want to go and check out Eric Jubay and see what his Twitter's like, it's pretty entertaining.
You're an idiot, sir.
But for the anyway, so so you brought something tonight. Would you like to introduce what you brought in, Mr. Daisy?
This is my favorite manifesto. It's called the Martian Blowjob Manifesto by Kyle Odin. And the thing about this guy was he had a schizophrenic break. So it has a tragic kind of story to it, where he had like some of the most vivid hallucinations that you could ever imagine. And all these hallucinations revolved around aliens coming down and having sex with him. That's every one of them, every time, and it surrounded his entire life. It surrounded it so much that he felt so trapped that he went to the preacher in his church, the only physical person that he ever interacted with, and he shot him 9 times. But he survived.
So there's a bunch of information that we need to go from like point A to shot a preacher.
That's what this is all. This manifesto, it boils down like the reason we found his manifesto was because he went to the White House and put it in a USB drive and threw it over the White House lawn and got arrested.
How?
Like he wanted it, like he was doing it so he could try and get President Obama to take a lie detector test that Martians were blowing him too.
What? Okay.
So,
all right, let's just get into this.
Poor dude.
all right. So to start it off, it said, born and raised in North Idaho, grew up in a loving family, joined the Marine Corps after high school, developed an interest in science, went to school for a degree in biochemistry, won numerous scholarships and awards, graduated magna cum laude, and then got invited to a prestigious university to work on genetics. Check my personal documents. He's really trying to tell you. That's the next line. As you can see, I'm pretty smart.
So
I'm also 100% sane, 0% crazy.
Hell yeah! So you know
I
that
totally believe him.
He's certified.
Well, that's what we say that every day, right? You're not crazy, so you announce you're not crazy.
Yeah. Speak it out loud. You're good.
And also, like if you don't tell people you're not crazy, they're gonna think that you're crazy.
Yeah. How else are they gonna know?
Yeah, like when I introduce myself, I'm like, "Hi, shake hands," but not anymore because the shelter-in-place quarantine. So what I do is from a distance wave at people, and then I'm like, "I'm Lauren, also not crazy." And what
not
it does,
crazy!
it reassures people that you definitely aren't. So I'm on this page 100%.
And he even gives you a rough little like breakdown, little bullet point thing of they were here long before we ever existed.
He likes the bullet point.
Their technology is millions of years of more advanced than ours. I've seen them do things that defy all comprehensions.
Comprehensions?
Plural?
Comprehension.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that your bad or his bad? Because
Yeah.
we've already seen some bad writing.
This is my favorite. They have massive breeding stocks of human, which they breed and control from birth. They use these humans to live vicariously lives among us. They appear to be completely normal because they're good at imitating human behavior.
So good.
So
it might be a human.
Oh, yeah.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck. You know.
we went from like his academic credentials, cum laude or whatever it's called, to immediately describing what the fuck is going on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We don't. You dive
We haven't
right
skipped
in.
a page
Yeah,
yet.
no.
Okay, same page.
Yeah. This is basically the manifesto. This is the bullet points before the manifesto.
Right.
So
the why of the manifesto.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's like the abstract where it's like, this is what we found. Here's the research details.
they take control of wild human beings and use them as sex slaves Don't believe me?
That was
Ask
quote,
President
quote,
Obama to take a lie detector on this one.
Shit! You hear that, Obama? You're being indicted officially.
He's getting
calling you
blown
out.
by
It's
aliens.
calling you out.
Yeah, Kyle Odin. What's his name?
Odom, I think.
Odom.
Yeah.
Odom. What a weird name.
And then it gets sad. He's everything. I tried everything to get back in my life. I begged, bartered, and threatened. Everything I tried was sabotaged. I attempted suicide twice, but they stopped me
God.
both times.
Wait, the aliens they or President
Yeah.
Obama they?
Well, they work together. You gotta know that
right,
at this
right,
point.
yeah.
These aliens blow so good that Obama's just like
got no
hooked.
choice.
Yeah. And my last resort was taking action.
Taking
actions that would bring this to public attention.
What?
And that's
So
when
that's
he
the throwing
killed.
the USB stick across.
No,
the...
that's killing the or like shooting the pastor.
Oh, right.
Oh, somber.
Yeah. Well, he must have like shot him with a BB gun or something because he shot him 9 times. You said.
Oh yeah, and they milked the hell out of it and said that God had a plan for him.
Oh,
and then,
right.
The whole everyone in the congregation said it's a miracle. So
It's a miracle that he was a terrible shot with no practice ever.
I think about that with like
he
50
in
Cent.
the
Wasn't
Marines?
he shot like 9 times?
Oh, he got hit a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. Did it say he was
yeah,
a
he
Marine?
was in the
a Marine.
Marines.
He
Oh,
had-
okay. Okay.
yeah,
So he's got
tons of fucking
accuracy.
practice.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it sounds
Wait,
like he didn't actually want to kill the guy.
He truly had a schizophrenic break. That's around the age too. They're like he was around like I think it was like 24 when this happened.
And mind you, he shot a preacher and wrote a manifesto. So, like, we're going to have to fact check the fact that he was an actual Marine. Because I'm not going to take this guy's word for it either. You know, like.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well, let's
I'm
get
saying it's
into it then.
50-50. Yeah, let's dive right in.
Yeah,
did you have a specific page? I know we've kind of been.
Just skip a couple and
I found something
All right,
in this.
go ahead.
It's like a letter
what's it
to
titled?
the president. It's just entitled Mr. President. It's like literally just like it's like here's a
Happy
page,
birthday.
Mr. President, comma, and then it's a bullet point list.
This guy loves bullet points.
So, Mr. President, I want to thank you for your sacrifice to this country. So he's a nice guy, you know what I mean? It's very upsetting to hear you talk about the things to hear you talk about the things they do to you. Why do you let them?
Wait, when
Question
did
mark.
he talk about it? Well, yeah, sorry, he doesn't cite his sources. Mind you, manifestos never cite their sources.
Next point. I suppose you have no other choice. Next point. I've been struggling with them myself for over a year now. Next point. I had nothing to lose, so I chose this instead. I could never tolerate that much abuse. Next
Holy
point.
shit.
I hope you don't take any of their threats too seriously. Everything is a game to them. Next point. Realize they consider the entire human race a plaything, including you. Next point. They brag to me about what they do to you. Dot, dot,
What?
dot, dot, dot,
What?
dot, dot, dot.
There's 8 dots in that.
9.
Jesus.
Next point. I'm sure you already know, but he doesn't love you. Their brains don't even work that way. Next point. I don't know you personally, but they've shown me a lot about you. You're an amazing person.
Hell yeah. So,
Next point.
oh my God. How
I
many
hope
points?
you stop letting them humiliate you. Why be afraid to retaliate?
What?
Kennedy wasn't. Next point. Shut up. Next point.
Kennedy wasn't.
Next point.
Then he had to get something off his head.
Didn't something really good happen to Kennedy?
Yeah, he drove convertibles around forever.
Too soon. Next point.
NASA.
It's time someone took a stand to end this nonsense. Can you think of a better legacy than that? And the final point.
Oh God.
What's worse, having everyone know the reality of the situation or watching some of our best and brightest become slaves?
Oh shit.
I wish you the very best with the remainder of your presidency. If you're still in there, stay strong.
He's talking about Amazon.
This guy's like.
Yeah.
This guy is so
Definitely an Amazon
sweet.
stock.
Oh, yeah.
Like he-
Definitely Amazon stock advice, though. I heard it.
This is crazy. Like,
Okay, I got a good one.
yeah, I'm just fascinated with
This
like
is
how
gonna be
polite
so
and like
tragic. I can already tell. Like
Like-
this poor crazy person.
This is one of my
Oh,
favorite.
jeez.
After making the appointment to meet John, something very brazen happened. I received the most unnatural erection I've ever had. It felt like somebody was manually pumping blood into my penis. I don't know how else to describe it. Immediately after that, a song started playing in my head. These lyrics went, "Sister, sister, he's just a plaything. He want to make you stay up all night." I have never heard this song before, and I had no idea what it meant. I
look up
tried
these
to
lyrics.
ignore it.
I'm gonna do it.
No, it's Talking Heads.
Oh, it's
Sister, sister, she's just a plaything. Wants to stay up all night.
I've never heard these words before in my life.
Oh man.
Oh man,
Doesn't remember
I'm
taking a Viagra.
I just,
Confused.
so
This is
But
aspirin,
they
right?
also, when I said erection and penis, every like sexual word has been redacted in it, and he
Oh.
did that. Like he like
Is it
crossed
like-
out
is
each
script
one.
pen
Oh
scribble?
yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
the redacted
And
stuff.
it's all
funny.
like they do things, say things like he manually penetrated my butthole, but they don't like take out any of that. Like,
oh shit.
all right, Lauren, you want to find one?
Yeah, I found something that's like pretty. It's right at the end. I found on the PDF. It's page 16.
little behavioralism.
Directly. Yeah, it's some behavior. It's called Martian Brain and Behavior. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to scroll down because right after this chapter, I'm going to read the chapter. But then right after are some drawings that he did. And I want our host, our producer, to go ahead and describe these photos because they are fucking amazing.
Dude, Martian Brain, all I can think of is the Mars Attacks. Like,
Mars Attacks is such an underrated movie. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's a
who
very
underrated
great
that
movie.
Well,
No
honestly,
one did.
this
It-
podcast didn't, and I would go ahead and say that this is this podcast's
According
Probably
to Black
number-
Sheep and Bad Apples,
according-
Mars Attacks, 2 thumbs up.
2 big thumbs up out of 4. Wait.
there's
Oh,
8
right.
thumbs here.
Okay,
dude.
so
Jack Nicholson playing
thumbs.
2
8
roles.
thumbs up.
Okay, 8 thumbs up. Martian brain and behavior. I've observed their behavior for almost a year now. Consequently, I've been able to make several deductions about them. The first deduction is based upon their primary characteristics, which include, and these are not physical characteristics, they are hypersexual, which is number 1. 2, they are hyperaggressive. 3, they are fearful and paranoid. In the human brain, the amygdala is responsible for all of these characteristics. Therefore, Martians must have an analogous structure, and it must be greatly enlarged. The morphology of their brain is also markedly different than ours. I know this because I've seen what the amphibian humanoids look like. I didn't realize they were amphibians because normally we deal with reptilians, so like that really actually threw me for a loop. The males are extremely aggressive, and extremely is italicized. In their society, there's only one thing, and that is power. Whoever is the smartest, biggest, and strongest wins. One time, I was talking to a young male who kept trying to intimidate / scare me. He saw that I was still confident in myself and immediately became discouraged. He stopped what he was doing and said, quote, "You think you're better than me?" And then he hung his head and walked away. I told him that wasn't true, but he wouldn't listen. After this, every time I encountered one of these males in public, they would attack me, and in parentheses, mentally. They would attack me mentally until they destroyed my self-esteem. They did this because they are scared to death of my intelligence.
So sad.
I'm getting a little
My
lightheaded
fucking
from laughing.
heart is breaking for this.
The
dude,
only
for
way
some
they-
reason.
The only way they
Like,
have
it's
the
funny. It's funny. Don't get me wrong.
But it is very sad. Like we're
It's really-
reading literally the
This is the
writings
mental
of
break.
This is
a
the-
mental
right.
yeah. But we're going to continue because we're black sheep and bad apples. We're
not
terrible
scared
people.
of nothing.
The only way they have
He's
the
in jail.
the only way they have the confidence with me is if I'm
That
scared.
makes everything better. Yeah, I forgot. Oh, so thank you for reminding
We're also
me.
just getting to the age that he did when he had his mental breaks, so it's all good.
How old was he?
You have schizophrenic breaks like mid to late 20s, early 30s.
I can't wait till my
Oh,
schizophrenic
thank God,
break.
I'm way past
This
that.
is going to be a great podcast
man,
once I have my
confidence.
psychotic break.
Yeah.
So let's finish this up because I do want Sean to read or to check out these photos. They're ridiculous. The only way they, the aliens, I'm assuming the males as well, have the confidence to talk with me is if I'm scared for my life or completely despondent. To the males, everything is black or white. There is no middle ground. They are power-hungry megalomaniacs obsessed with control. If they are not 100% in control of every situation, they panic. If something happens that they aren't anticipating, they get very upset. They hate surprises. I know this because I was smart enough to trick them a few times. He sounds like Alex Jones a little bit. Like it sounds like he's describing Alex Jones, but he's also Alex Jones.
spear.
To recap, the males are 1. He loves this list. Fuck. To recap, the males are 1, maniacal. They are megalomaniacs. 2, they are obsessed with sex. 3, extremely aggressive. 4, fearful and paranoid. 5, power hungry. And 6, obsessed with control.
Didn't he
Sound-
just say all that shit in the
He
paragraph
did,
above?
but he also said to
Okay.
recap, so it's not bad writing because
Okay.
he said to recap.
Gotcha.
And I'm quoting this manifesto now. Does all this sound familiar? Who else do you know that has these characteristics? If you answered God from the Bible, you are correct. Martian.
Hold on, go back through the list.
So the list is megalomaniacal, obsessed with sex, extremely aggressive, fearful and paranoid, power hungry, and obsessed with control.
I mean, I
Sound
would agree with-
familiar?
I wouldn't- but fearful?
Yeah,
don't
God's
see
not
the
very
wrathful. Wrathful. Yeah, the God from the Bible is wrathful.
If you
not
answered
fearful.
God from the Bible, you are correct. Martians are responsible for the God myth. Martians may have created humans, as they claimed, but they are certainly not gods themselves. They are just another intelligent species that evolved on a neighboring planet. There is no God. There is no heaven. There is no hell. Earth
like
is as
that Beatles
close to
song.
heaven as we'll ever get, and we are letting the Martians ruin it. They are going to destroy it.
All the Martians.
Earth, just like they destroyed Mars if we let them. They are going to destroy Earth, just like they destroyed Mars if we let them. Our survival rests in their hands for the time being.
Bum, bum, bum.
Now, that was really fun.
Can you look up a word for me?
Oh, I can definitely do that.
Your purpose.
Your purpose.
There is something that I can't find.
Doesn't say there's anything on the page. Yeah, there's no results for it. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to have Sean take the lead on this because
Uh-oh.
I don't even know.
In the middle of
how-
all this happening
Yo.
too,
I
he went
don't-
to school to be a pharmacist.
I don't.
Oh, I would definitely not want him to be giving me my meds.
I might.
I don't even.
Only if he's using the risky pill dispenser.
That's
Jesus Christ! All right, I
sponsoring.
I gotta-
by Black Sheep.
my computer's getting all shitty because I'm terrible at doing this. So there we go. All right, fit to page and go ahead and just describe what you see, and then read, and then you can scroll down, Sean. But there's more.
Huh.
What
It
do you-
looks like the cross between like a coconut and a gorilla, but like
The Grinch that stole Christmas?
yeah, kind of like a
Got a
Grinch
Grinchy
chop.
look to him?
like if a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was an onion.
Yeah, but yeah, that's on like. But the peak of his head
had
is
no
it
mask.
goes up to the like. It looks like a little,
Cone?
kind of a cone, kind of.
Well, at one point he talks about the reason they
also
created
dis-
Elmo to look like that is to get people more comfortable with the aliens that are coming.
It's like drip feeding.
Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely obscure. It's definitely got wide kind of alien eyes, but like a cartoony, like Muppet mouth with
Is
a
he
couple
smiling?
gorilla like nostrils, not like a nose, like just like.
And not for nothing.
And then the eyes. The eyes are like cat eyes. They're not like regular eyes. They're like they got the.
They're Muppets.
like and not for nothing. Remove the face from this image, and that's a weirdly pointy dick.
I was.
Yeah, like
just
the
him,
eyes
like,
and the head
doodling,
look like a.
Like we can. We've already. Sorry, we can.
Quit bumping your mic,
already
dude.
see like a clear.
Well, it looks like what's
like a
it?
clearly established correlation between the sex stuff happening and them being male aliens.
Well, that kind of looks like
Yeah,
I'm
basically.
trying to think of what that. It's like is it not in Arizona?
Oh, shit,
Oh,
they
it
look
might
like-
be. There's like the Devil's Peak. It's called, and it's
the-
the Devil's Mountain, or
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's where they did that's where they filmed Close Encounters of a Third Kind.
yeah, and it's like that
Right.
really
Shit.
just like cylindrically tall, out in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. That's like
It's the Devil's
really
Tower. or
Devil's
something.
Tower. I
The
think
Devil's
that's
Tower,
what it
yeah,
is,
yeah,
right.
So his
Devil's
head, like
Paint.
His head looks like that.
His head reminds me of the Devil's Tower, like if
you-
it was from forehead up.
Do you guys remember
And
the
then-
the 1990s Super Mario movie that they had with I can't remember the main Mario
The
was,
live
but
action
yeah, but it was
one?
John Leguizamo who played Mario, if I
Right,
remember correctly.
right.
They looked like the Koopas in that, where like they have the like the time.
Bob
like-
Hopkins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I guess
they look like the Koopas in that, where they've just got like go and look at
The
it.
one
If
had
you
the
guys
harmonica.
listening are curious as to what
with
they
a
look
little
like,
bit of Donkey Kong.
yeah, just look up
You know
both
how
of those things
long
up,
we
and
were
you'll get an
waiting
idea.
for like a Super Mario Brothers movie, and we got that.
We got that. It's,
Oh, it was so
and it was
disappointing.
terrifying too, as like a
John
9-year-old.
And I guess-
Leguizamo.
I was in like my mid-teens too, so I was like really.
I was
Should I?
pumped
And I
for
guess
it.
You-
I'll
no, you should
I'll read,
definitely.
I'll read the
yeah.
description here.
You should definitely read his description because it's drastically different than ours.
Huge eyes that stuck out of the sockets.
Oh,
Yellow/brown iris. Projecting muzzle with 45-degree angled nostrils.
what?
And it's got a little waiver sign, like give or take a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Like I think like a
Because
roughly.
it couldn't be 45 exactly.
It's like squiggly mark 45-degree angled nostrils, like
Yeah, about
roughly
that.
about
Approximate.
huge mouth.
Huge. Like you can see it in the image.
And
By
that's
the way, guys,
that's the first thing. Yeah, the mouth, the line of the mouth crease crosses the entire face.
yeah, and
That's the biggest like available smile or frown you could make.
And also, I don't know if we said it earlier in the podcast, but listeners, he's actually looking at sketches with like handwritten notes on these sketches. So like
Yeah,
these
sketches
are
on lined paper.
on line paper.
It
so like
definitely
it's,
looks like
Made with
pencil
crayons.
pencil art. Well, and then
Colored
that's what I
pencils,
find with that in mind very funny. It says the next description is dark green skin.
so they
Now, but like looking at the sketch, the only green on there is like the eyelids, the under and over eyelids.
so he's a
the-
bad
nothing
writer.
else
Working
is-
with,
it's
like,
all
one of
black
those
and
big,
white.
Like sets, it was only like a pencil marker
He had,
a thing
he
of
clearly
like
had
6
green
of
and
them.
didn't use it.
And, well, yeah, clearly they
That's
had
the point,
green
like,
and
yeah,
a,
green,
That was the
they
only
use
color
it.
he had.
no, yeah, green and a little yellow brown for the iris, because the eyes have yellow, kind of a yellow brown iris, and then green, like around the eyes.
You know what I'd be
But
willing
then
to
the
bet?
rest is just black and white, like a pencil.
I'd be willing to bet that that the aliens took all of his other colors because they didn't want him showing us what they actually look like.
And then there is a big.
Probably put him in a gimp
He
suit.
did say
and
they
did
were
it.
thwarting him at every
They were
And-
at
well-
every turn.
And keep in mind the last description here, and it's circled, unlike all the rest. It says the only
Very
part I
important.
really saw well was the eyes.
Great. Now you can scroll down more, and there's some more photos we need to get you to describe.
ooh.
Sean,
I
because
got
they
something
are-
real quick to read.
Yeah, please do.
So this is what I was trying to get you to find before.
Oh, okay.
So the harassment continued for weeks and intensified as time went on. I did my absolute best to maintain my sanity and try to avoid them. This worked for a while, but eventually I had a huge meltdown. One day I was at a bakery at Safeway when I got surrounded by a group of old men. Some of them looked at me and sniffed, so I knew it was them. They started stimulating my blank and blank simultaneously.
Which is dick and prostate, probably.
Then
Or
they
butthole.
spoke aggressively. They said,
Simultaneously.
humans are nothing more than the result of a successful genetic experiment. You are a threat to the way these people think, and you are no longer to be free in society. Your life is over. You are nothing but a toy. Your purpose now is to suck cock.
Oh.
Wow.
I like that a group of old men came around him and told him this, and I'm presuming
At a
psychically.
Safeway bakery. At
Yeah, at a
grocery-
Safeway
like a
bakery.
very well lit grocery.
But I'm also
store
assuming
bakery.
all of this happened psychically because they sniffed at him, which,
Yeah.
as we all know, means aliens are near. Like that, the aliens sniff. Like that's what we know about the world.
Not going to be
That-
surprised to find out he hadn't showered in months. Like,
You know what? That seems like that seems irrational and unfeasible. I'm sure that it was that these people were they were trying to get around him and they were trying to show him that they're more powerful than he was. But
clearly.
since if he wasn't afraid, as we read earlier, he could defeat them. So
He was the only one that could.
he was the only him and Obama.
Yeah.
We can't forget about Obama because he plays an important role in this. Do you want? Did you
Oh, so-
pull up the next
so-
photo?
Yeah, so next photo.
Yeah, let's do
This
do
one's fun, for sure.
pie.
Let's go back and forth.
So, you guys know the game Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Yes.
Now, picture the mouth of a hungry, hungry hippo and tell it to a kindergartner to draw it.
Then have him draw.
And that's what I visualize here is just the mouth of a hungry, hungry hippo drawn by a kindergartner. It's got a bunch of square, large, spacious teeth and two nostrils put together like a clamshell.
Like
I'd believe
better
that was a
dis-
pie. I'd believe it was a kid's.
Oh, I could see pie.
A drawing of like a flying saucer.
I think a better description to our listeners who aren't looking at this would be that if you guys know what the smiley face looks like on the T-shirts and like from the 70s to the 90s, they might be still being put out. Like the smiley face, that's what it looks like, but it's bleached of color, and the smile literally goes from one side of the circular head to the other, and it is just all teeth, and it is not good.
A lot of chiclet shaped teeth.
It looks
in there,
like
man. These
like a
guys-
basically
Not that
drawn
many.
clam that if you
not a
grabbed
lot.
it with your hands and opened it, it would have teeth, and
like a
you could
clam with
play
teeth.
around. You're like, yeah, look, I got teeth, but it's got two nostrils on the top that kind of almost look like eyes as well. So you're like, wait, are these? I feel like it looks like it's nostrils, but then to be honest, it looks like some stupid Halloweeny cartoon
You know,
drawing of two eyeballs.
Stick figure body off the bottom.
No,
of it,
yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be the
Well,
whole head.
that would be-
those
It just
the
it'd be
eyes.
some
That could
like
be a meme.
it'd be like
It'd be a meme.
It looks like kind of like a Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think it looks
head,
like
you know what
Pac-Man
I mean?
from
Where
the
it's
front
just,
view.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it looks totally like Pac-Man, like methy Pac-Man, but from the front.
You tweaker Pac-Man.
So
Turns out Pac-Man's been eating shit for so long, his dental's just fucked.
well,
you
no,
know,
no,
like,
he's been eating dick for so long.
he's just been
Alien dick.
chomping
So, are
ghosts.
there any more of those? Those.
Oh, should I read the description? On
Oh,
this, or
I
should
mean, if there's a
scroll?
description, you should always read it.
It says, ooh. Okay, yeah. It says this is what their teeth look like. So it's very
Chiclets.
obvious the
It's
teeth.
exactly
yeah,
a
it's
dis-
definitely
drawing. It's a
like
portrait of a
chiclet teeth.
Yeah,
Chiclet.
that's what he wanted to show you with that
Jesus
picture too. With
Christ.
those creepy one-sided teeth.
one-sided teeth. I
And
don't
then,
think anything in existence can have only one side.
You got.
and then it says, oh, this is, wow.
Is it
I like
hard
the
to read or
arrow.
indecipherable?
It's kind of hard to read. Not hard to read, but it's also just like throwing me off so much. It says,
That's
Elmo rules the world.
Oh,
Something they kept saying to me.
I thought it was
And
the
there's a big
Freemasons,
circle
but-
around that whole thing, just like the last one.
Wait,
and then
what?
there's an arrow pointing to it from above that says, I assume they said this because their head looks like a Muppet.
So he's saying that he's drawing the circle and pointing the arrow because he's like, this is what they told me to write down. Is that?
It's just in like a line of
It's like
description.
he's adding like extra to that one part. Just
Again,
making
they
sure you know
only
which part
yeah,
it
like
is.
hey, like
Okay.
this one's
And
this
remember,
one's weird.
he's
Like,
100% sane, 0%
0% crazy. Yeah.
and then he said
Zero.
again, they only revealed bits and pieces to me and very briefly. Thankfully, I have a photograph, meaning so
What?
I was able to remember what I saw, although I only remember the general appearance because each time I saw them, it was very brief. They would smile at me what the hell? And
Wait, it's not coherent?
What do you mean?
his
Just
stories
read
and
what he
reveal
wrote.
their mouth, eyes, nose, all separately, never together at the same time. What the goddamn hell
Oh, that
is
sounds
going on?
terrifying.
So let's how about you and Sam share the next description? Is there more photos? If there is, you guys
No,
should.
We got a
Really?
list.
It
Oh,
just
there's
says,
another
it
That's
just
all the
says
senators that are
noteworthy,
aliens.
noteworthy Martians.
That's how
Oh.
like, we'll get shut down if we read that list.
Yeah,
man.
because Deep State is coming after it.
Nancy Pelosi.
Either amphibian or reptilian
Mitch
human beings.
McConnell.
They're definitely coming for us. Is there more
I would
photos
believe
or?
I would believe Mitch
All right.
McConnell
Yeah,
was,
but
an
that
amphibian
that
with how
last
much
paragraph
skin he had
is
on
the
his chin.
where it gets real. Someone besides me read that last paragraph.
The last one?
Yeah.
In the whole thing?
Yeah, it's right under the list of representatives.
Oh, okay, I gotta zoom this thing in real quick. Come here, just hold on. Here we go. Oh shit. So yeah, he lists just a shitload of different people. They're in three categories.
over 100 people
Yeah,
there.
just about. There's three categories. There's U.S. senators, U.S. House of Representatives, and Israeli leadership. So I bet there's nothing like this. Sounds all above board. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, there's. At the end of the
like a
Israel list,
disclaimer.
at the end of the list of Israelis, it says there are many others from Israel. Too many to list. But the last paragraph goes, this is by no means an all-inclusive list. Martians are ubiquitous. They exist at every level of society in every nation. Some have blue-collar jobs, while others occupy positions of power. They control our government, our military, and capitalized corporate America as well. They keep track of every, quote, wild human on the planet and manage us like animals in a zoo. Our, quote, freedom is a carefully crafted illusion.
Oh,
Yeah.
more true now.
I'm
than
sold.
ever.
So
I'm sold. This
I need
guy's
you
dead
guys.
right. It's
I need you guys listening, and you guys here in the studio, for the next 10 minutes during this break, contemplate how much freedom these alleged aliens, most likely real aliens, are giving you, and think about how to fight back against the system.
It's goddamn Eisenhower after he gave that fucking the Grays and let us
okay, Joe.
to
All right,
start
all right,
abducting
all
like a certain amount of Americans every year.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So write a letter to your congressman during this break. Write a
when was the
letter
last time you
to
showered?
your state representatives. Write a letter to Trump and Obama. Let them all know that we know, and we're not going to take it anymore. And this is our break.
Hey, if you're listening to this, please send help. The Ducks have taken over Fourth Corner Studios, and they're running everything. Right now, they're questioning our... Oh my god, that was the intern. If you're listening to this, please send help. Or subscribe, like, or follow us on our YouTube channel, Black Sheep and Bad Apples. And now, a word from our regular sponsors. Medical supplies for less. Are you tired of paying full price for medical supplies that you're only going to use once, twice, or maybe the rest of your life? Then come on down to Medical Supplies for Less, where quality meets your budget. The social distancing dating service. The only commitment is no commitment. Ready next week. It's always better when it's ready next week. Hi, how are you? I know what you mean. What's that? I agree. Take a little time to listen. Shoppers of America, shoppers of America. What do you mean I have to put on this commercial? I don't get what you're trying to say. You just gotta, like, if you're gonna flap at me like that, then I can't put on the things that you want. I know. I'm just saying that if you want this to work appropriately, then we're gonna have to do this together. We gotta, come on, you just gotta. I know. Okay, well, let's just wrap it up and go back to the segment then. Down and see. Thank you for listening and supporting Ducks, fighting for a better America. Really? I mean. And now back to a little bit more of Black Sheep and Bad Apples.
Welcome back to Black Sheep and Bad Apples. So tonight we've been talking about a little bit of manifestos, a little bit of people going through probably some very serious and heavy stuff in their lives. And we've just been kind of going through, if you guys are just now listening to it for whatever reason, we went through the Flat Earth Conspiracy, which should have been called Globe Earth Conspiracy Manifesto. Then we went through what was it called, Joe?
The Martian Blowjob Manifesto?
Yeah, that's right. Very sad, and I'm kind of reluctant to say funny, but it was kind of funny to read.
Funny.
Yeah, and it's funny in that it makes me feel bad for thinking that it's funny. Now, for this next part, what we're not going to do is actually read a manifesto, unfortunately, because the other things that I had prepared were much too dark. So, listeners, what we're going to do is talk to you about a little guy named Andrew Basiago.
Anthony Basiago.
Oh, I want an article named Andrew Basiago.
Andrew.
It says Andrew there.
It says Antony Andrew Basiago for this one. I don't know why.
He goes by Antony for whatever. I'm Andrew Antony.
This is on I'm doing some extra research on Reddit right now, so it is with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
there.
So, do you want to
All
start
the
off?
other stuff is 100% accurate.
Do you want to start off describing him, or should we just jump right into this video?
Let's jump into the video because
Okay.
then we'll have plenty to go.
Yeah.
off
So
of.
you guys aren't going to be able to see this, but I'm going to play you the audio, and it's about a guy who claims to be a really, really smart time traveler. So here we go.
Chrononaut.
Sorry, chrononaut.
Chrononaut, yeah.
Here we go. I'm gonna let it load because I'm a hack and a fraud. Here we go. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
We know under
long.
Project Talent, beginning in the late 1950s, when Admiral Rickover essentially set as a national goal identifying young Americans of exceptional intellectual, psychic, and leadership ability, that there was really a national screening process going on. In fact, many of your viewers will remember that 5.5 days of testing where we were even coming in on Saturday mornings to complete that national exam. Mm-hmm. That was the result of Project Talent trying to find young people that they could work with, for example, on secret defense and intelligence projects. I was one of them identified, and so in the fall of 1969, a couple months after the lunar landing of July 1969, I was placed in a learning lab at my elementary school, which was Mount View Road School
That's a
in
chrononaut.
West Plains, New Jersey. And we were immediately involved in a set of academic exercises in speed learning and different things that the intelligence community would identify as alpha intelligence training, the ability to acquire information very rapidly, to understand what we were perceiving, to memorize it, to report it back to other team members. And that was going on right from the very beginning with psychic training, where the children who were performing well in the psychic games we were playing were being retained in the program. And those who were not performing so well were being dismissed from the learning lab. So I remember the first game that we were playing was a game called Concentration, where the special educator in the learning lab would select 1 out of 52 standard playing cards and look at it and understand what card it was and place it to her forehead and begin concentrating on what card it was. And she would go around robin for, let's say, 90 minutes or so with 4 or 5 of the children in the project. And I remember guessing the card correctly with 1 out of 52 odds
Yeah.
for the whole session. Maybe getting one guess wrong. Maybe I would guess 5 of hearts versus 5 of diamonds. So in addition to what I believe my father probably reported to the Department of Defense, that I was demonstrating special abilities like levitation and clairvoyance, I think I was identified as a pretty advanced psychic at that time, in the beginning of that 3rd grade school year.
Seems legit.
I'd like to say that the children that were ultimately selected for time travel under Project Pegasus were small, mediums at large.
Okay.
So there's a thing with getting them while they're young. I forget the term exactly. I think it's like tabula rasa. And
Talk a little bit about what they're talking
well,
about.
that's what
first.
this is about.
Okay.
Like tabula rasa, it's about how if you get someone that's older and they time travel. Like it was on Coast to Coast that I heard about this. So like he goes,
Reliable
if you go
news
to
source.
the like if an adult goes to the Wild West, then their mind will be blown because they'll see somebody with a revolver and it'll change their reality. But if a kid does it, the kid will be more mendable and
their brain's more malleable.
so they would be able to adjust and also the hole that they would have to go into to time travel is so small that the kids would have to cannonball into it.
But also, we haven't mentioned the fact that the guy who was just speaking is the article that video is from is literally titled Andrew Basiago involved in Project Pegasus time travel program. So all of our listeners now know that this guy is a time traveler and a psychic.
Apparently he can levitate and shit,
That's
too.
what I've heard.
That's what I heard
Yeah,
him say that.
It's pretty impressive. Didn't
Didn't this guy also run? He tried to run for president, didn't he?
He's been running for
shit.
president, and it's like he's from the future, so he knows he's gonna win already. So it's basically gonna happen.
I mean, obviously, he was the front runner, right behind Biden, right? Oh no, I'm thinking of.
I think he's gonna be no. What he said to do is to go in and vote for him and bring your phone inside the polling booth and take a picture of yourself with the write-in, so he could do a count at home and tell everyone how the voting system's a fraud.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this article. It's an article from Gaia.com, which we know is reliable because we're going to get
Gaia's
into that a little bit more.
Definitely not fake news.
Definitely not. So I want to let you guys know that the author of this article is from the very reliable author Gaia Staff from Gaia.com, and so you can be sure that it's all verifiable
It
facts.
was written by a person named Gaia Staff.
I'm
It's
pretty
also
sure it was a
on
person.
rationalwiki.org.
Yep,
and,
yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just read you guys this. It's the part of the article immediately after the video.
I worked for a grocery store for like 2 years where when I got hired, the owner didn't know my name. And every time he had to talk to me, he was like, "Hey, guy, come here for a second."
Hey,
and he
guy.
always just called me Guy. And I was like, this guy doesn't actually know my name.
So according to this article,
Nice.
the section of which is titled DARPA, which is the defense and it's a military project. DARPA Project Pegasus. Quote: according to Basiago, between 1962 and 72, the U.S. government ran a clandestine operation called Project Pegasus, which I think, like based upon like him being a psychic, I think is like MK Ultra kind of stuff. Like maybe MK Ultra is just like an umbrella term. Anyway,
Wasn't MK Ultra the sleeper agent shit?
yeah, it was like a mind control.
Mind
to see if
control,
drugs
yeah,
could
right.
give you psychic abilities and
Like
stuff
they-
like
Psychic,
that.
but also
It was
controls.
like Manchurian Candidate
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
so that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and he also apparently between 62 and 72 he participated in it, anyway, the program led to a successful development of a number of highly advanced technologies allowing for teleportation, physical time travel, and holographic time travel. He claims, Mr. Basiago, which is Asiago with a B. It's really hard to say.
Master Basiago.
Master Basiago claims the program was run jointly by the CIA and DARPA and was used to contact former presidents. Sam, could you tell me, do some research and figure out when DARPA was created? Beginning when he was just a child, Basiago was selected from a group of psychically gifted children to become a time-traveling liaison who would go on to meet historical and future dignitaries, as well as various extraterrestrial entities.
Yeah, he met Lincoln.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to continue with the article because it's entrancing. Basiago says his father had previously worked for the Ralph M. Parsons Engineering Corporation, where he helped develop technology, so Basiago is very smart. Basiago was brought to participate in his first, quote, jump. He says that his father had already been time traveling for years at the Curtis Wright Corporation in New Jersey. Oh, Joe, aren't you from New Jersey?
He's a Jersey boy. Hell yeah.
You know about the Curtis Wright Corporation, right?
Oh,
They're sending people flying through time and space. And quoting the article, it was here where he was first exposed to the portal he would later use to teleport through time and space. The portal itself, Basiago describes as two parenthesis-shaped booms that were 8 feet tall and spaced about 10 feet apart. He describes the computer configuration from which the portal was being controlled as rudimentary and plugged into the wall with a power cord that would look more fitting if it led to a lathe or a drill press. Ironic for, and then they've got a hyperlink, machine capable of tearing the space-time continuum. I'm going to go ahead and open that link real quick in a new tab. And then he's got a picture of a unicorn with wings. Yeah, so it looks here, based upon this title, Andrew Basiago Gettysburg Jump, that he went to the Gettysburg Address. I'm very curious about that article I just opened up. What was it called? It was.
I like his presidential platform. There are like things that he has that are like he wants to put Bigfoot on the endangered species list.
What?
He wants
Yes.
all visibility for teleportation technology.
God, I hope that he gets what he's requesting because,
I am on board with this man so far.
yeah.
I wish I could find his actual platform. It's really good.
And with a.
Wait, is this the guy from Vermont with the boot on his head? What's
Vernon
his-
Supreme?
Yeah,
No.
is this just Vernon?
Oh,
It's just
man.
like
love
a
Vernon
pony-based
Supreme.
economy and visibility for all that,
You know what really bums me out is that the deep state, that they've got a hyperlink that says there's a machine capable of tearing apart the space-time continuum, but the goddamn deep state, when you open the link, takes you to just Gaia TV and there's no article. So they must have removed it.
Yeah,
Because
they're
there's
always watching.
Yeah, they're always
it's-
trying to get people to
Yeah,
not believe.
It's all that DARPA tech.
It's all the DERPA.
So you want some DARPA facts here?
Yeah, give me some DARPs.
Well, initially it wasn't DARPA. It was just ARPA.
Yeah.
Right? Right. Advanced Research Project Agency, and that started 1958. And it had about $500 million
Okay,
in funding. But then NASA was also started, and both of those things happened because the Soviets launched Sputnik.
Yeah.
And we realized that we needed to get into space too because they were, above us.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
Well, and now the Reds have the lead.
But it didn't get the defense. It didn't get the D.
Yeah.
ARPA didn't get the D until
ARPA didn't get the D.
1972.
Okay, so
ARPA.
Yeah, he says that
always
between
in the
1962 and 72, the government ran a clandestine operation called Project Pegasus through DARPA. So apparently, we're getting some new information about what they were up to.
And here on the very reliable Wikipedia page, they lost all their funding. With NASA, got all the space funding.
Yeah,
they
of course.
took a bunch of the money away from ARPA, and so they repurposed it to do, and I quote, high risk, high gain, and far out basic research. So basically, they were like
Far out, bro, rip on.
They were like, okay,
we're gonna do a Project Pegasus.
we're gonna do we're gonna do weird shit at this place, and that's how we're gonna earmark money for it.
Yeah.
And get it funding so that we don't look like idiots having created two governmental entities
That
that
do
do
the
the
same
same thing, you know, and so then, you know, it took them another 14 years to get some defense on that shit, but it was basically
It took him 14 years to get some D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, that's
That
about true
seems
for a lot of people.
That doesn't seem legal.
Well, so what I've noticed is that there's no.
It's governmental entity years. It's like 7 or 8 per
Well,
actual year.
You guys, it's interdimensional years, like the
Sorry,
So it could be
trans-temporal
seconds.
Bureaucratic years.
Yeah,
Oh, so it could
exactly.
be decades.
Yeah,
Per
exactly.
year.
Because you could
The
be.
guy was dying of old age when he finally got it.
I'm just not going to finish any jokes that I have
Don't.
right now. What I do want to talk about is that Andrew
Basiago.
Basiago is
From Jersey, man. I'm Asia Basiago.
Basiago. Andrew
That's your fellow
Basiago.
statesman.
Oh, goddamn right.
He's definitely
And you goddamn right.
he's definitely telling the truth, and I know he's telling the truth because I'm kind of taking a cursory glance at this web page called Gaia, in which this article is hosted, and you can definitely tell it's legit. So there's a couple of different like categories that you could look up this article in, and we went from articles to the subcategory seeking truth to the subcategory secrets and cover-ups. So I just kind of wanted to see what secrets and cover-ups held, and we're gonna read a little bit about it. So I'm gonna read to you guys a couple of headlines. Tell me which ones you guys want to read, because definitely reliable. First one, the Statue of Liberty, a gift from French Freemasons. Number 2, the actual truth about fluoride. Number 3, and the one that I'm voting for is the Stargate program, a government's foray into psychic phenomena.
Yeah, Gaia's got all the legit news.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Well, it's the
Gaia.com
stuff
is
CNN's
not.
too scared to touch on.
Yeah, they have courage as a news agency
They're doing what they can.
to bring forth the truth for everybody, obviously.
Well, they talk about some of
Clearly.
the best UFO encounters are actually in National National Enquirer, and they're just covered up by all the dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
that's the only ones that print it because they can't like stop.
Yeah,
them
I
from
saw
it, and
Men
they're
in
like,
Black
"Oh,
as
it's
well."
fake.
Yeah, we've all seen Men in Black. Okay, we know. So, okay,
You know,
so
when we're
let,
talking about manifestos, do you know where Ted Kaczynski's manifesto was distributed out to the world?
no.
Hustler.
What?
Yeah,
How does
Hell
that work?
yeah.
they're the only people who would print it.
What?
It was the
Holy fuck! That is amazing. You get
Larry
titties,
Flynn.
manifesto of somebody who bombed a building. And then,
it's the dirty side of.
Jesus. So, all right.
Wait, no, not building. That was Ted Kaczynski was a Unabomber. He was
Oh, right,
sending,
right, right.
He was sending packages with explosives.
Yeah,
you're right.
he did it for like 20 years.
I was
or
thinking
something
of-
like
Find
that.
him forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of OKC. So, actually, I'm going to add a fourth to this thing, and I want to see I want to see a vote of hands. All right. So we're going to do the Statue of Liberty, a gift from the Masons, the actual truth about fluoride, the Stargate program, a government's foray into psychic phenomena, or our fourth option, what is the value of conspiracy theories? So, can I hear about the French Freemasons? You guys want to raise your hands? Who wants to do French Freemasons?
Freemasons.
I feel like we already did Freemasons.
Yeah, it doesn't
stuff
look-
earlier,
yeah,
so
we-
I'm
we-
like,
Yeah.
I
So-
want to talk about this guy's bid for presidency more. Let's let's go down that rabbit hole.
I kind of feel like as a second, like slight second for me, the fluoride thing, because I'm like, ooh, the truth about fluoride.
Honestly, I really want to read this article. What's the value of conspiracy
Teeth
theories?
yellow.
But I can do that in my own time. So let's actually dive into his
His presidential platform.
yeah. Where is this going on? Past election. Oh, okay. Andy.
Or we can get into his life on Mars with President Barack Obama.
I mean,
Wait.
that's why
Yeah.
didn't we
Wait,
lead with that?
wait. Hold the fucking phone.
We should have led with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Stop the
well,
press.
Oh no, his story goes on for forever. Like, he has
Didn't
a
you
time
know that's
travel
how
device.
Barack is considered an American is because he was on the moon.
And
And
he
only
also-
Americans have been on the moon because it was created in Hollywood. So that means you're an American if you've
Yeah.
been on the moon. So that means you can legally be the president.
Yeah. And
So I believe he was a race car driver on Mars with Barack Obama.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Or I might be getting the stories mixed up. but-
I don't think you
know.
are. I think you've got it. He also got blowjobs
I don't want to
from
spread
Martians.
misinformation.
Yeah.
Space borders are undefined as to what classifies you of your origin right now. So that's where it's like a loophole in the presidential system right now.
And it's going to happen in the future. So, like, technically, it doesn't matter what I say because it's still yet to happen yet.
That's
Right, he's just
Oh,
gonna.
guys.
It's like
That's
faded.
that's where Hillary Clinton messed up. She
I'm
could have
still-
been the first woman race car driver on Mars, president.
You guys,
It just it could have really blown
I just
things
found
away.
something
but
amazing.
whatever.
Sam, do you want to do your thing or should I do this thing?
I've just been down this DARPA hole since you asked me to look it up. Like this shit reads like the best goddamn science fiction novel you've ever read. Like, oh god, no, yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah.
What
Let
have you
me
found?
do some Basiago.
Basiago.
My
Basiago.
favorite kind of bagel. So, quoting the article from Gaia, you may have heard about Basiago not too long ago when he made waves in the media claiming Barack Obama had been a part of the same teleportation/time travel program as he. This even solicited a response from the White House, which adamantly denied the claim. I can't believe this. The White House was like, no.
They had to acknowledge it.
They had you.
It was Obama. So we're talking about a guy who, what was it, a correspondence dinner? He played a fucking Disney clip from The Lion King as a video of his birth and was like, here's a video of my birth, and it's like Simba. Why is this shit happening? Like,
That's great.
So back
that's like
That's why I like
no
Obama.
president has been funnier than Obama.
Yeah,
No,
he,
no,
he is definitely
Clinton was
like
not funnier
Yeah,
than
he
Obama.
was.
Dude.
No,
He
no,
does not
Obama
have
He
the
was
sense-
accidentally funny.
Yeah, it was
Well,
tragic.
Bush
Yeah,
was
tragically funny.
emotional and
It's like watching a kid fall off a bike. You're like, well, that's pretty funny, but not because the kid's having a good time.
LBJ was like accidentally funny.
Jesus Christ. So back to the
Noodle
Gaia.com article. According to Basiago, Obama went by the name Barry Sotero and was initially teleported to Mars at the age of 19.
Wait, Obama was?
Yeah.
Okay,
Obama.
I'm on it.
Okay.
Sotero was sent on his interplanetary mission to communicate with Martian animals and the extraterrestrials living on the planet. So there's more than just Martians on
Now,
Mars.
was he sent as
So Obama.
he
worked
was
for-
sent as an African or as
ambassador.
an
is the word.
ambassador?
That's what
like,
I'm
but
assuming.
from where? Like
of
from
Earth.
From Earth, I presume, but
Because we've still never seen the birth certificate, right?
oh,
Well, you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're gonna do that?
I'm joking.
shot,
All just found out a little more about Sam. All right.
All right. No,
Just saying.
So he claimed in a 2020 speech, I believe this is
So he was
Obama.
born from a lion, and then he's been fighting for Earth.
Born
and
for a lion.
He's a shape-shifting Disney lion prince
who went to Mars
who went to Mars
to
fight
meet
for-
Martians and extraterrestrials.
as an ambassador.
As an
So they
ambassador
couldn't
of
send
Earth.
him as a lion.
Oh,
They had
well,
to turn him into a
If
human.
you were born from
Am I
the
on the
Lion
right
King,
page?
yes.
I think we got this.
Because it says right here in this wiki, DARPA, like right here, changing lions to people. That's
Yep,
one of the
yep,
things they
yep.
were working on
No,
doing.
if
So,
if
like-
you're representing Earth, you were a lion,
Yeah. So
but in human form.
Right.
So
That
you-
makes sense.
That makes
A lot of
I'm
sense.
following it. Yeah.
So
okay.
you guys, Basiago claimed in 2012 in a 2012 speech that he has definitive photographic evidence of intelligent life. Intelligent life there from a picture of a Martian purportedly carving a rock with a handsaw on the planet's surface. I don't know what any of that means. I don't.
Where?
Mr.
Show me the
Asiago Bagel.
fucking- Show me the fucking money on
I know
that.
there's not like a hyperlink. It doesn't
That's
show
the
us like a
biggest
photo.
goddamn dick tease move
That was
ever.
like
It's
8 years ago.
We got a picture, but you can't see it.
Can't see it. Jesus Christ. This past election, unfortunately, again, this was written in 2012, Bastiago didn't make it past the primaries. he has a future knowledge that sometime between now and 2028 he will either be elected president or vice president. So
It's murky, but it's there.
well, and I like
His future knowledge.
I like that he's doing the cold readings that psychics are doing. He's like, president, maybe vice president, probably captain of the DOD, maybe secretary of state.
It'd be great if he was like president or like comptroller. It'll be one of those in the next
Secretary of
5 years.
Agriculture.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So he's the Undersecretary of Agriculture. I'll teach you how to do space growing, how to make space food.
Space corn.
Space corn.
I like it.
Space corn grows in the vacuum of space.
Oh God, this article is just.
The military's all over this. I can see it already. New space MREs.
Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Much of this platform being Basia, whatever his fucking name is.
Bagel dude.
Bagel Dude. Much of Bagel Dude's
Stop,
platform is predicated on progressive policies like investing in public education, green energy, net neutrality, and religious tolerance.
Yeah, I think he wants like a flat tax rate.
Yeah, judging his candidacy on these aspects alone, he might fit in with the most far-left progressive ideologies, though the primary pillars of his candidacy are set on revealing what he believes to bet he government's biggest secret.
So where's the
travel.
where's the bad news? That's what I want to know. It's like,
Oh, no,
is he a secret Martianist? Like he hates fucking Martians?
Honestly, I think he's just a weirdo.
But he doesn't want to come. He just doesn't want to come across as hateful. So like,
Yeah, I don't.
do we have any?
He's a good dude.
notes
He's been
from
fighting
his
for
time
us for
as an
generations.
ambassador?
He's been fighting for us all across different planets for generations, and the least we could do is make him president.
That's the very least.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And he's from the future, so like it's gonna happen anyway.
You guys,
He already knows.
this is an article called "The Stargate Program: A Government's Foray into Psychic Phenomenon."
It's men who stare at goats.
Quote: The Stargate program was a CIA-funded project that intended to cultivate psychic phenomena, or PSI, for espionage purposes.
Well, okay, so back here, let's see. In the early history, there was a thing that ARPA was doing. It was like behavioral something. Where did I say? Behavioral sciences. Let's hit that button. Oh, that's
Yeah,
just
hit it.
what are behavioral sciences? Boring. But they're doing something with behavior and science, and that's sketchy.
Well, and quoting that Gaia article,
I don't trust it.
Since the CIA recently released millions of documents, which is a hyperlink, related to its experimental forays during the Cold War, members of the program, including Major Ed Dames, Ed May, Russell Targ, Hal Puthoff, and Joseph McMoneagle. These all sound like fake names.
They
Yeah,
are.
do you want to try that, Sam? Including, go ahead, Sam.
You need the microphone to do
Yeah, I
that.
need a microphone. Let's see.
Read their names.
Major Ed Dames,
Yeah, fake,
Ed May,
fake.
Russell Targ,
Do it.
Hal Puthoff.
You're like Kaiser associating it.
And Joseph McMoneagle.
Big Money Eagle.
Big Money Eagle. Joseph,
Just someone
quote, unquote,
flashing
Big
cash
Money
and an eagle
McEagle.
flying by him at the same time.
Yeah, it was. I felt like the listeners might think that I was making these up.
McMoneagle.
Yeah.
McMoneagle.
I don't,
What the fuck?
But they're so crazy that it has to be true.
well, apparently, all these people's, quoting the article, and others have experienced a renewed interest in their work and proof that they discovered in the anomalous reality of psychic phenomenon. So this is still talking about their Project Stargate. Before landing on Stargate, the program went through went through code names such as Grill Flame, Gondola Wish, Central Lane, Sunstreak, and the original moniker.
I
Just
want to be
in my
part.
Scante.
band Gondola Wish.
I
I
want to
think
be.
Sunstreak is better.
I want to be part of that government program that names all of these. They're just sitting around smoking weed, just be like, "Look, Operation Pegasus,
Best
man.
weed
Like,
ever.
yeah.
Just like we need these people to be as high as possible. For
Okay,
this.
so yeah, the Stargate project is definitely MK Ultra-esque. It says here, a trained remote viewer can identify specific details of a target irrespective to distance with significant accuracy based solely on geographic coordinates. So you can literally just
So
see
this is
geography.
more.
Remote viewing.
Yeah,
shit?
yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly, that's what it is.
And those coordinates don't have to be earthly. They could be coordinates on a distant planet, like the time the CIA. Jesus Christ!
Talking
The
about
time
Planet
the CIA
Sapiro?
remote viewed an ancient civilization on Mars.
God damn
Or when
right.
Ingo Swann with two N's, one of the most illustrious members of Stargate,
What was his first name?
Ingo.
Engo?
Like Ingo Montoya, but like Ingo Swann with two N's.
You killed my
Ingo
father.
Swan.
Ingo Swann, one of the most illustrious members of Stargate, viewed the rings around Saturn before they were even discovered by NASA.
But guys, he's from the. He already
from-
becomes the president, so we have to treat him with respect.
Well, and for the record, this isn't.
Would you it would be Mr. President, right? Even if he's going to be like in somewhere in the timeline, he's the president, then you should be referring to him as Mr. President.
We should-
Anyway, we've disrespected this man this whole way. Mr.
No,
President,
I have the finest
we apologize.
respect for the
Truly apologize.
the
President
the
Bagel.
President
Bagel.
That's what,
President Asiago.
Basiago?
Basiago. Yeah.
President Basiago.
Andrew
hey, I'm
Basiago.
walking here. I'm Basiago. Well, hey, I'm gonna jump through time.
President Basiago sounds like the guy we like instilled after overthrowing a South
Giuliani?
American government, and then we installed President Basiago.
I'm going to tell you this right now. In 2020, 2024, maybe 2028, I promise you, in one of those years, I'm going to win presidency, or maybe vice presidency, or maybe
Undersecretary.
My
of
the
running
Agriculture.
secretary of the agriculture. I don't
guar-
know, but I promise you, I'm going to do this.
I guarantee my running mate will be Chris Christie, and we're gonna have a
Jesus
great
Christ.
time.
Holy fuck.
They both look like they could put down some food.
So normally I end this part of the podcast with asking, do you guys have any more questions? But I feel like we are left in this podcast with only more questions than we have answered. So I'm going to ask you guys tonight, how do y'all feel about tonight? Mr. Producer Man, what are you doing?
Ooh, it's been all over. I don't. My brain feels a little twisted. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's and I feel like I found a newfound respect for Obama. I didn't like.
He resisted the aliens.
I already liked him, and then he just showed his valor a little bit more throughout what you were
You know, I
speaking
wonder
with
if
these
Trump
very
has such
credible
resistance.
sources.
We're gonna get back to you guys. on
Oh,
that.
I bet you those aliens are blowing Trump like all day.
All day.
I think
All day. With their,
I think Obama and Trump are like, it's like Batman and the Joker.
Robin.
They
Oh.
can't. No, they
I would
can't.
love to see them as Batman
No,
and
they
Robin.
can't.
though.
Imagine Trump as Joker.
please, if anyone's listening, we would love to see a picture of Obama and Trump as Batman and Robin.
And if it's good enough,
That
maybe
would
we
be-
can put it on a T-shirt and start making some fucking merch.
Yeah, we'll cut
I
you
would
in
totally
something.
wear that T-shirt.
Yeah, I would too. So, Joe, what are your thoughts on how are you feeling about tonight?
I feel more normal than we've ever left one of these. This is
Okay.
like kind of the inside of my brain anyway. We went to a lot of websites I go to normally, and this is kind of all I think about. So
Well, I'm glad that you were here to help provide us with some perspective because it's a long road to the path of understanding all the nuances in what is the truth. And I'm glad that we've been able to, with this podcast, kind of get to the bottom of it. Sam, do you have any truths that you think didn't get represented here tonight, or what are your
Well,
thoughts tonight?
No, obviously there's tons more of these truths, especially like we saw on the Gaia website.
Oh yeah,
That we could talk about and bring to light, But I felt like everything that these guys had to say, particularly, was probably 100% accurate.
Yep.
And 0% crazy.
yeah,
100% accurate, 0% crazy. Well, thank you guys for joining us here at Black Sheep and Bad Apples. This has been our Manifesto episode, and honestly, I think we're going to do another one here in a little while. So If you guys like what you have heard, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube. Fourth Corner Productions is our host. Catch him on Facebook, and you've got a YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And send us your manifestos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you have a manifesto, for sure.
Yeah, please.
Pitch it our way.
Love to read a friend's
We would
manifesto.
love to read a manifesto. Having said that, tonight's episode is brought to you by Manifestos. Manifestos, the only way that you can truly get your point across directly before picking up a weapon or saying something crazy. So, please go ahead and go out there and buy
Screaming in the corner.
just buy as many manifestos as you can because they're not free usually. Fourth Corner Productions definitely endorses this comment and does not resent it at all. And that's going to be it for us tonight. So please keep in touch, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more soon. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Fuck Hobo Johnson.